and in this video we are checking out the new Google Pixel 7 Pro. Now if you saw my review of last year's Pixel 6 Pro, you know that I really liked that phone. It wasn't perfect, but it was a really good value for the money overall, especially once it dropped in price. The Pixel 7 Pro is basically that phone with some new internals, a new camera or two, and a few other minor changes and updates. But it's still the same phone in most regards, which might be a pro or a con depending on how you look at it. The Pixel 7 Pro is available now unlocked from Google and from places like Amazon and Best Buy. And it retains the same starting price as last year, $900 for the version I have here in the Obsidian color, with 128 gigs of storage. There's also a 256 gig version, available if you want more space. So, first things first, let's go ahead and take a quick tour of the phone's hardware and design. You get the same build materials here as before. A polished aluminum frame, glossy back glass, and a flat slab of Gorilla Glass Victus on the front. The overall form factor is identical too. This is still a massive phone. 6.7 inches corner to corner. It's slightly wider and taller than the iPhone 14 Pro Max. The screen is very tall and thin, so it can feel a little awkward to hold and operate one-handed. And the weight is nearly identical to last year. It's not any lighter or easier to handle. But I do have to say that I really do like the way this thing looks. The color options this year are Obsidian, which is the black we have here, Snow, which is white, Lemongrass, which is green, and Hazel, which is kind of a light blue-gray. I think all of them look nice, but I've always gravitated towards darker colors and black phones. So this one is right up my alley. I think it looks sleek and professional. And it doesn't show fingerprints or smudges nearly as bad as the glossy back glass on last year's phone. Around the edges, you get the same power and volume buttons on the right side as SIM card tray on the left. Nothing on the bottom except the microphone and the same speaker and some external microphone holes on the top. One small change is that the 7 Pro S speaker is a bit louder and a bit deeper than last year's S phone. Not a major difference, but I did notice it. The top also houses the millimeter wave antenna for the phone's 5G support, which is important to note. This is a true 5G phone, but depending on where you live and what carrier you use, you may or may not have access to those faster 5G networks. When it comes to the display, the 7 Pro screen is again the same as last year. 6.7 inches of QHD plus resolution OLED panel. The image quality here is great. It's sharp, bright, and colorful. It's fluid thanks to the 120Hz refresh rate, and the overall viewing experience is fantastic. Whether you're watching videos, playing games, or just scrolling through apps and websites. The only real difference here is that the 7 Pro S screen is a bit brighter than last year. We're looking at around 1500 nits peak brightness compared to 1000 nits before, so the 7 Pro can get even brighter when you're outside or in direct sunlight. The screen tech is the same though, no real improvements or changes there. Taking a look around the rest of the phone, the 7 Pro has the same dual selfie camera setup at the top center of the screen. That means there's an 11.1 megapixel wide-angle lens and a 12 megapixel ultra-wide lens. Both offer 4K video recording and HDR support. And as far as photos go, I don't really see a big difference between the 7 Pro and last year's phone. The images look just about the same to me. So if you've seen what the Pixel 6 Pro can do, you'll know what to expect here. If you haven't, then just know that selfies from this phone are really good. Like seriously impressive stuff. And while we're talking cameras, let's go ahead and hit on the biggest physical difference on the 7 Pro. Last year's Pixel had 3 rear lenses, a 50 megapixel wide angle, a 48 megapixel telephoto, and a 12 megapixel ultra wide. This year there's a 50 megapixel wide, a 48 megapixel telephoto, but a 12 megapixel ultra wide. So the telephoto lens got an upgrade. It's optically stabilized now and it offers 5x optical zoom and up to 20x super zoom. Now, Google claims that this new lens allows for better low-light zoom shots and clearer images at higher zoom levels. And from testing it out myself, I would agree. Images look pretty good considering how much you're zooming in. There's no doubt that this is an improvement over the telephoto lens on last year's phone. There are 4 main shooting modes for the rear-facing cameras: normal, portrait, night sight, and panorama. And within each mode you have the option to utilize all 3 lenses. The image processing and HDR are fantastic. Images look natural. They're colorful, well balanced and detailed without oversaturation. Low light shots look great thanks to night sight, and the different modes allow you to capture whatever scene or subject you want. Overall, if you care about camera quality and taking great pictures and videos, the Pixel 7 Pro won't disappoint. As far as the rest of the rear-facing hardware goes, the flash is gone. There's no longer a separate flash module beside the lenses, and instead the camera bump itself doubles as the flash. It's a neat idea, and it makes sense since the camera bump is already large enough. It doesn't actually affect functionality, but it is something you may notice. Also, I guess the fingerprint sensor was moved around a bit. It's a tiny bit lower than before. But again, it's not really anything that affects day-to-day use. Finally, inside the Pixel 7 Pro, you get the same 5000 mAh battery as last year. You also get the same processor, the Google Tensor G2. So overall, the Pixel 7 Pro is basically the same phone as last year. It's still a flagship device, but it's priced very competitively. The build quality and design are nice. The display is very good. The internal specs are solid. The camera setup is excellent. The battery life is solid, and the software is clean and supported. I really like the Pixel 6 Pro. It's one of my favorite Android phones of the past couple years. And the 7 Pro is just a slight iteration with a few extra features. It doesn't reinvent the wheel or offer anything groundbreaking, but it does present a great value for the money. If you're in the market for a new Android phone, and you want a premium device with great cameras, I highly recommend checking out the Pixel 7 Pro. So, there you go. Those are just a few of my thoughts on the new Google Pixel 7 Pro. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your opinions, of course. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this video though. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys later.